Hello people, I'm here to tell you another story, one of Bob's stories. And we're going to go back in time, way back in time. Way back. Let's say it's the summer of '66. Summer of 1966. I'm living on Caroline Avenue. It's down by Pape and Queen. Most of you have no idea what I'm talking about. But I used to live in Caroline Avenue. And there was two girls that I met back then. They were sisters. One was Darlene and one was Brenda. And there were a whole bunch of other kids, of course, on Caroline Avenue. Now, on Saturdays, we used to go to each other's houses, mostly on Saturdays, I think, you know. We were all young. We were all 16, 15, 14, 12, teenagers. So there's a few of us used to get together on Saturdays. We used to play records, the little 45s. Darlene and Brenda had a little record player. I think it was a red and gray or something like that. And we used to bring our 45s with us. They had some, I had some, the other kids had some, and we put our names on the 45s. I have 45s now with my name written on it on the same year. I have the same 45s, the same records I still have today, with my name written on it. Darlene had some 45s with her name written on it, and I have those in my collection too, of records. Her name, Darlene, I have them. So Darlene and Brenda lived with their mother and their grandmother, and they lived at 90 Caroline Avenue. So the thing is, we're playing records. We're all teenagers. We used to put them on a spindle, put 5 or 6 records, 45s on a record player, and had a long spindle like that, and you put the 45s on top, and they play, and they drop down the record player. The needle would come over, play a record. Next, you know, they dropped down. So I had some. So there was a few of us. We drank Coke, ate chips, you know, chatted about the music, 45s, what songs were on the chum chart then, you know, what dances we were going to go to. So I think Darlene was probably 15 or 14, and Brenda was probably 12 or 13. So this was a long time ago. Now, Brenda and Darlene's mother was there. She was sitting on the couch the first time I met her. The girls introduced us to their mother. Her name was Irene Blake. But anyway, her grandmother stayed in her bedroom, right? In the bedroom. The bedroom was actually the dining room. They had a kitchen, a bedroom / used to be a dining room in the front room. And the front room had a pull-out couch, and Darlene and Brenda would take turns sleeping with their mother or sleeping with their grandmother. There was no dad. I don't know what happened to the dad. Didn't really ask. So I met Darlene's mother and Brenda's mother. Her name was Irene. Now at the time, Irene told Darlene and Brenda, "Your mother's old. Your mother's old." How old is she? She had to be about, I'd say 33, 34, 35 tops, right? So I ended one time and ended up in around, you know, in a funny way that I was Darlene's boyfriend. I was Brenda's boyfriend too for a while, not very long, but that happened. But anyway, a few years later, much later, 1972, I ended up marrying Darlene. Darlene was my first wife. Yeah, I had 2 of them. Darlene's still alive, but she's nowhere around here now, but she lives someplace else. I never see her. But anyway, yeah, Darlene and Brenda's mother was old when I first met her. Considering she was 35 and I was probably, I don't know, 15 or something like that, around there. But yeah, we used to play records. And a few kids sat in the front room, lay on the floor, sat in the couch, sat in a rocking chair, you know, and that's what we did. We did that for a few hours, maybe 2 or 3 hours, from about 7:30 to like 10 or something. And then we all gather up and we leave and we go home. And then we go to somebody else's house next Saturday, say for instance. Or we'd have a party and dance and stuff like that, us teenagers. Well, we did all that. So now, much later, as we are today, here now, I get a phone call from Brenda on Sunday, and she told me that her mother passed away. My mother-in-law, Irene. So, she was a very nice lady, and she's gone now. She's no longer with us. So, all those years ago, I met her. Irene. Her name was Irene. Yeah, she was a good lady. But that was my story. Yeah. She was 88 years old when she passed away. I think she passed away this weekend, Saturday. I think it was Saturday. But yeah, Brenda called me on Sunday and told me your mother's passed away. Yeah, so just another story, you know, from what, 54, 55 years ago? What am I, 69 now? 54 years ago when I first met her. Yeah. That's a story about Darlene and Brenda. And I still talk to Brenda, but I don't talk to Darlene anymore. It's the way it goes. So yeah, my love goes to Irene, my mother that I had years and years and years ago. But yeah, my love goes out to them. And my love goes to Brenda too, so, you know, she had a good mother. But yeah, I just thought I'd tell that story. That's a story about how the 1960s, some of the 45s ended up with people's names on them. Most of those people were young teenagers that put their names on the 45s. So when we left, we took our 45s with us and we went back home. And the next week we did it again at somebody else's house. So, thank you, Irene. You were a good lady.